People lead in a different kind of manner.
Yeah.
Some people are super rah-rah, super motivational speeches, whatever it may be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think the way Lamar was brought up and the way that he just knows how to play football is just like, look, like, this is what it is. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about them at all. He's gonna say that to the media. It's like, I only care about you boys. I only care about winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And all the, like, hype speech, you got to figure that out yourself. He's like, look, just be ready to play.
Yeah.
And, that kind of takes all the Disney Channel out of it. And it's just like, let's just play football. It doesn't have to be remember the Titans. It's like, we're going out there and we're gonna get a win.
Welcome to the Green Light Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code GREENLIGHT. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just make sure you use bonus code GREENLIGHT when you sign up. All right, I'm here with everything safety. Pretty much, I think he could play my position. I think he could play defensive end if he had to. Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore Ravens. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Dude, great having you on. The number one thing I wanted to talk to you about was, with all your accolades, I think the most impressive one is you are a Mensa member.
Yeah, I was talking to you about this before we got on the pod, but Korean mother was not messing around when it came to academics. We always played sports. My dad played basketball professionally, and my brother is older than me, playing high school basketball, AAU, all that stuff. And she was like, that's good and all, but you need to make sure that you're academically the best. So she tested me into Mensa when I was younger, and I think she's kind of been clinging on to that ever since.
So has that helped you in football? Do you feel like you were able to learn coverages and defenses easier than most guys because of your academic success?
Yeah, I would say so, especially like freshman year of college and rookie year in the NFL, like kind of just taking those, they're easy installs, but to a new guy, it's just like, what am I looking at? So I think taking that into the meeting room and then actually applying it out into the field, just, kind of being a little smarter, I think helps that a lot.
What do you think about, like, for us from the outside looking in, y'all made such a turn at the end of the season to playing like an elite defense. And I know in the middle of the season there were some explosives, there were, penalties and that sort of thing. Was it as simple as you moving to safety and being in one spot more? I know we talked about it a little bit before the pod, but can you tell us what the big difference was for y'all making that turn?
Yeah, I think it's just communication, honestly. And you know how important that is on a football field, like from whoever has a dot getting the call out to then getting the checks out. And that was something I think we were lacking. Having 10 guys playing one thing and one guy playing the wrong thing, and now we're looking at the ball go over our heads. And obviously not acceptable, especially at the level of football that we play and the standard that the Ravens uphold on defense. And I think our DC, Zach Orr, did a good job. We kind of had like a keep it real meetings. I'm sure you've been in one of those before. It's just like, look, this is what you're doing wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. And coaches were like, I'm doing this wrong. So it wasn't just, they were just berating us with insults. It was kind of just like, we all need to figure it out, look ourselves in the mirror, like, what's the problem? And I think communication, just execution got a lot better from that point on.
Zach being so young, did you see him kind of grow through the year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ravens fans have been spoiled to winning seasons for most of the existence of the Ravens. So it's like when you come out of the gates 0-2 and your defense not doing well, it's kind of like, all right, well, who do we need to fire?
Yeah.
And they were looking at Zio, like everybody's just on Zio from the start. And he's played the game. He was an all-pro, so he knows what it's like to have these ups and downs. And, fans are going to be fans, but at the same time, nobody in the building really wavered. And we all believed in him. And he has great people around him doing a good job. So I think he kind of took that in stride, and we were better for it.
What did Dean Pease add? Did you spend a lot of time with him when he came in the building?
Yeah, I actually interviewed with the Falcons when Dean was there coming into the draft. So I'd met him then. And then he came in and was helping with the DBs a good bit.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of just like, all right, they're struggling the most. Like, let's just put you in their room and help them figure it out. But I think he did a good job of just coming in and just simplifying everything. Like he he even showed us some like old film of Ed Reed running a play that we would install, and we'd run it the next week and it would work. And I think having good football minds like that around the building just helped in general.
We were talking a little bit about how difficult it is to play in the AFC. You know, having to go through Josh, having to go through Patrick. Going back to the last game you played in, what makes Josh so difficult? I mean, everybody knows he's a tough tackle.
Yeah.
And everybody knows you have to take away his ball hand side or he could kill you outside the numbers. But what is it about him? Do you think it's his vision? Do you think it's kind of like just the explosiveness? What makes him great?
Yeah, I think everything you just said. But in our game, he didn't have like the best game ever.
It wasn't like that, no.
Yeah, I think what makes him so good is like those gotta have it moments.
Yeah.
He makes them most of the time. Obviously, it didn't go their way in the AFC Championship, but like 4th and 1, we all know who's getting the ball. It's just like he's just a force to be dealt with, and the offense operates so quick and efficiently with him in there, and he trusts those guys around him. They everybody in the media is talking about how they don't have anybody around them to make plays, and
But they do, though.
they do, though. I think it's just because they don't have that one guy who's all pro, whatever. Like they have everybody, all the receivers. You know, Mark Cooper comes in there, is doing his part.
Yeah.
They got 3-4 good running backs who they just rotate in and out.
They use them out of the backfield, too.
Yeah, for sure. And the O-line plays great together, and it's just, you know, Josh kind of keeps that whole thing going. So outside of all the freak stuff that he does, I think he just operates at a really high level.
No question, the run game's a big part of what they do now.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's one of the most underrated things about them. All the gap scheme stuff, they're so physical. And Cook, I mean, you coming from the second level, he's a really explosive cut guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, who's the guy in the NFL in your first couple years that you've been like, he's the toughest tackle? It could be a slot receiver. It could be a back.
Zay Flowers is up there. I haven't had to actually tackle him.
Right,
but,
you're just seeing him
like
every day.
tagging him off in practice. I'm like, it's annoying. He's literally like his top start is 1-on-1. People who have actually had to tackle, probably Saquon.
Yeah.
Him, you know, he's built like super thick, but he doesn't really move like that. Like he moves like Jahmyr Gibbs in a Saquon build. Like it's kind of crazy, and like he's just got a second gear. Like once he sees the crease open, and you got to make sure your angle's right, because if
That's
it's
a
not,
lonely
like,
place.
Yeah, I had a tackle against them. He really almost should have broke it. Like I thought I was gonna come and like get a clean, like we call it like a profile tackle, like just clean shot, and he just kind of exploded through there. I'm like, damn, I kind of got lucky with that, but yeah, he's kind of a different beast right now.
Because he can kind of make a cut at full speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not dropping his pads to make the cut. He's going to make a cut at 20 miles an hour.
Right. Nobody at that size is moving like him.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise he went for 2K.
And the guy who you had to line up across from in practice, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Who it's hilarious when I watch all 22 of y'all, and it's the angle behind him. He looks bigger than all the defensive players.
Right. D lineman included.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Definitely the backers. Did y'all do any live stuff in camp? Did you have to fit him up yet, or just thud him up?
Just thudding up.
What's that feel like?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. You know, he's honestly kind of chill in practice, because he knows that, like, he knows nobody really wants to like thud him up for real. So so I thudded him up one time. I thudded him up pretty good, and I think he went to the ground. And I think after practice, this is like one of the first camp practices. After practice, he was like, "Yo, Cam, like, I'm not gonna run you over, bro.
Right.
Like, I know you know I'm big, like whatever. I know you think you got to bring whatever you got to bring to thud me up, but like, let's just be professional. Like, just thud me up, let me go, whatever." I was like, "Okay, I got it." But everybody kind of had to, you know, get over that hump with D-Hen.
And he doesn't wear down.
No.
I mean, year to year, week to week.
Yeah, it's almost like he builds up throughout the game. He kind of leans on you.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary as shit thinking about playing a guy like that. And then Lamar, obviously, like one of my favorite players in the league. But what I love about him, and maybe you can speak to this, is his leadership, like the teammate he seems to be. You know, like we were cracking up when he got on the plane and Marlon had him on live. And he's like, bro, like, you know, moments like that, to hearing him talk before that game, like it's dead serious. Like we're not making friends here. Like he just seems like kind of he's got a position player attitude, but he's a quarterback.
Yeah, no. I think everybody kind of feeds off that, because, you know, people lead in a different kind of manner.
Yeah.
Some people are super rah-rah, super motivational speeches, whatever it may be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think the way Lamar was brought up and the way that he just knows how to play football is just like, look, like this is what it is. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, like I don't care about them at all. He's gonna say that to the media. It's like I only care about you boys. I only care about winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And all the like hype speech, you gotta figure that out yourself. He's like, look, just be ready to play.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes all the Disney Channel out of it, and it's just like let's just play football. It doesn't have to be remember the Titans. Like we're going out there and we're gonna get a win.
Going back to the playoffs, like I think sometimes it's as simple as like it's hard to win a damn Super Bowl, and you're just not going to get there every year, and it's going to take some time. But I also feel like, and you tell me if you think this is accurate, it's not that y'all aren't good enough. It's just there'll be a moment in the game where you don't realize until later, but it was a big moment. The big moments, I feel like y'all got those. Like Lamar gets the ball at the end of the game, you go in and score.
Right.
That's the big moment, but it's like the little things. What do y'all have to do to get over the hump in the playoffs and get to that next level?
Yeah, I think getting off the fast starts, one, because AFC Championship last year, I think they got the ball first and went down like 14-play drive, got 2 4 downs, like scored a touchdown. Yeah. And we had like the best defense in the league that season. And then the next drive they come out, the Chiefs that is, next drive they come out and score another touchdown. Now we're on the sideline like, shit, like we haven't experienced this all year. But to our credit, we locked back in and they scored like 3 points the rest of the game. Our offense responded after the first touchdown we gave up last year and came out and scored, and it's just like now we're playing catch up. We can't do that. And then this year, offense came out fast, scored a touchdown. Defense had a pretty bad drive, gave up a touchdown, and then we turned the ball over, and now it's like, all right, they get the ball after half, and now we're playing from behind. So
that middle eight is a big deal.
Super
and
important.
Coaches talk about it, and we talk about it as players, but I don't think people realize, fans, how important that time is before the half and straight out. Yeah,
they the Bills scored a touchdown, I think, going into halftime. So it's 21-7 at half, and they get the ball, or it was something like that.
Yes.
And they get the ball. Like it could have got ugly, and defense was like, we gotta go one drive at a time. So I think we got a 3-and-out, or they already got one first down coming out at halftime. Give the ball back to our offense, they go score, and we get another stop. Offense scores. Like if we weren't locked in on defense, like that could have been a blowout.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
but y'all locked in the second half.
Yeah,
for sure.
We locked in and gave ourselves a chance to win. It just
no question.
Didn't go our way.
When you're playing the Chiefs, man, I know you've had some matchup assignments with Kelce, and there's, even as an older guy, there's very few as good as him. But what makes him so great? Because, like, if you man him up, that's one thing, but in zone, it feels like it's those basketball instincts and the unspoken language between him and Mahomes.
Yeah.
What makes him so great still at this age?
I think it's what you just said. I was actually talking to somebody about it the other day, like, I think your best bet against him specifically is playing man.
You have to, right?
Yeah, you just got to win in man, because you play zone against them, like him and Pat, like it's just like from when the ball snap, they both know what coverage you're in, and then Kelce's just going to break his route off to beat whatever coverage you're in. You literally can't do anything about it. Like we were in cover 3, I remember this AFC Championship, and I was curl flat player, buzz out to the flat, like got to my drop. I'm 12 by 1 outside the numbers, and Kelce sees me he's running a sail route, and sees me and just turns around and stops right in the hook. And, Pat just dots it right to him. And, we had the right coverage. It's just he changed the route mid-play, and it's just stuff like that. 2 guys have been doing it for a while. It's just tough.
How different is that from, like, seeing a rookie quarterback and his set of receivers or whatever? Like there's not that improv as much with other teams?
Yeah, for sure. Like, somebody like Bo Nix, who's super talented, I think he's going to be a super good quarterback in this league. Like, he made like good plays against us.
He's a big Broncos fan. Except I don't think he liked what y'all did to them.
That wasn't great. I think Bo's. We came out of high school together.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Cool dude, good quarterback. Y'all are gonna be good years to come. But happy to hear that.
He's real happy. Pat Surtain was at the party last night, and this dude didn't get to go to the party. He was freaking out.
Damn, I'm sorry. But yeah, Bo, like, I was super talented, but I think they're gonna give him a few deep shots a game that are just like, throw it up like 3rd and long,
especially if Sutton.
Right. Yeah. If it gets picked, it's a punt or whatever. But other than that, I think Sean Payton did a good job of like running the offense through him. But it's just like if it's not there, check down.
Yeah.
If not there, check down. Like, be smart. Let's keep the ball, especially when you got Lamar and Derrick Henry on the other side of the ball. Like, all right, let's just keep the ball out of their hands. And whereas, like, kind of guys like Pat, Josh Allen, they're going to be like, okay, well, I've seen it all. So you got to deal with me kind of thing.
No question. You talk about Kelce, you know, is it accurate to say that if you're playing zone match, you're going to be able to get the matchup you want if you're Andy Reid? Like, if you're playing the Eagles, you can move Kelce around and dictate your matchup. Is that kind of why you would rather play man on him, not just the other stuff, but also knowing who your assignment is?
Yeah, I think so. I think just from a defense perspective, like, man is probably the hardest physical coverage, but the easiest mental. Like, just I got this guy, I got to win my one-on-one. So, and the Chiefs do a lot of stuff messing with your eyes.
That's
like,
it,
stuff
right?
like that in zone. Like, Andy Reid's probably one of the best, if not the best in the league, drawing up stuff to mess with you. You could busted a coverage in week 3 and it comes up in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And it's like, if you haven't fixed it, it's a touchdown.
Well, it's like those return motions in the red zone that they recycle in the Super Bowls.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to run it till you fix it.
And by the time you realize, oh, yeah, it was that play 2 years ago, you already scored.
Right, it's on Twitter. And
it's on Twitter.
after the game. Yeah, you don't find out till then. But I think, you know, if you have the guys that can do it, kind of can man up across the board, I would 100% just play man against them because it keeps everybody's job simple. It can keep, you know, we can keep a backer in the box to give us, like, help underneath or go spy pad if we need to, or whoever's the quarterback. But, yeah, it just kind of simplifies everything.
When you talk about the Eagles, you know, I look at this group and I wonder, like, are they going to be able to stop the run? You talk about the challenges of facing this offensive line. Not only that, but having a quarterback run element, which you guys have on your team. For somebody at home that doesn't exactly understand why it messes up the allocation of resources, having that unblocked player or that, you know, that unaccounted for player, can you explain to people why the quarterback run game adds an element of uncertainty as a support player?
Yeah, it's especially in that read zone stuff that they do a lot of the time. Sometimes they're design keeps.
Yeah.
But it puts that end in a bind, and, you know, like, unless you got like crash call where you're automatically tackling running back, or a Q call. Yeah, or a Q call where you're, you know, faking like you're on a run back going to quarterback. If that DN's just playing like a surf technique and just trying to play both, you're going to be late on both of them. Honestly, like, you're not going to play the dive as good as you want to. You're not going to play the keep as good as you want to. So I think, and then you got to bring the safety into it. And now you can't get to a lot of your stuff that you want to get to because they're kind of handicapping your defense. And honestly, like, I gave up a touchdown this year to Goddard on, like, a simple RPO.
Yeah.
It was like an RPO slant flat to the boundary. And it was gun near, and, you know, Hurts had the RPO going and then pulled it like he was going to run. And I'm triggering, like, I'm in man on Goddard, and I see him threatening to run. I didn't feel like I had help to go tackle the run. So now I'm kind of look at him, and then he just throws the ball out to Goddard, turns up the sideline. So it just puts everybody just kind of in hesitation.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was watching, who was it that was splitting those guys out? Well, Washington. Washington will put those two stacks out wide and just get you to, you know, kind of show yourself.
Right, yeah.
And you have to defend the whole damn field. And I think that's the way offenses are going. It's like the scariest thing for me as my career went on was everything was more lateral. You know, like souped up West Coast offenses. You got to cover grass. Who do you think is a coordinator in the NFL that uses the whole field that maybe doesn't get enough credit that you've faced?
That's a great question. Honestly, I mean, Commanders.
Yeah.
That's probably the main one. Like, Kingsbury and their offense is just like, everybody tried to kind of downplay it, saying it's like a college offense, whatever. But, I mean, it worked. So you can't really say anything.
There's a lot of college elements in today's game.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's like, he's going to get you to show your hand, and especially with a rookie quarterback, it's going to help get you out of your disguise, kind of give him a better picture of what's going on. And then, you know, I think he did a great job of catering the offense to his players. Like, he's going to give Terry quick stuff to start the game, like, just get him in the flow, get Jaden in the flow. And then, you know, you got B-Rob, Eckler, good third down backs. And then a bunch of other guys like Ertz had a great year.
My old buddy Ertz still doing it.
No, he's still going, had a great year. And then the O-line's playing well together. It's like, once you have those pieces and they all trust each other, like, his offensive system, I feel like, is so, it's like water, like, kind of just flows. And, you know, they did a good job this year running it. I mean, they lost that NFC Championship game, but they still put up like
yeah,
30
and they
points.
turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
and they credit to the Eagles, they took it away, but you just can't be in that game.
Yeah.
And they go down the first drive of the game, and they go on 4th twice, and then they lay up.
Right.
Like, to me, I'm like, you don't want to chase points in that situation.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is the kid. I mean, I think he's special.
Yeah.
Like I think there's 4 guys in the NFL who are the Mount Rushmore quarterbacks. It's your guy, it's Josh, it's Patrick, and it's Joe. And unfortunately, they're all in the AFC. But I think he could be the 5th guy. Do you feel that way about him, or is there somebody else that you think is next?
No, I feel that way about him for sure. He's definitely going to be in that conversation. I think the biggest thing I saw from him this year is just like his demeanor. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like all the guys you just named kind of have that
Cool.
Yeah, like you're not really gonna mess with me mentally, whatever. I'm gonna do what I do. You gotta defend it. So, especially like all those guys, Josh, Lamar, Pat, all those guys, Joe. It's kind of just got this like swagger about him, and Jaden has that, and you can see it. And had a great year. Obviously, he's probably in top 6 conversations right now. So he's only gonna get better from that. And
Who's the other guy in the 6? Because people say Herbert, and like I think he's got that ability.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think just based on success, you just got to go Jalen.
Yeah,
right now,
he's there. Yeah,
I mean, people talk down on him a lot, but I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
No question.
He's on one of the better teams in the league every year. So,
yeah.
I respect winning and where you at in January, February a lot. So, I mean, I got to kind of give it to him.
No question. Talking about your height and just how unusual your profile was coming into the draft, and we were shooting the breeze outside talking about how it almost worked against you.
Yeah.
Did you have to do anything at the combine to mitigate that?
Yeah, no, I was, obviously everybody weighs in and does the measurements at the combine. And I was probably, I was 20. So I was 20 years old at the combine. And
damn, you were young.
Yeah, no, I was young.
So how old were you your freshman year?
I was 18.
Okay.
But
right. And you left a little early.
My birthday's in March, so
okay. What's your birthday?
March 16th.
Okay. Yeah, same as I should know this, my mom. So, and I'm the 28th. So.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Well, I got like 5 birthdays in March. I got a son in March, a wife in March. So, but yeah, you were young.
Yeah, no, but I was still like growing.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think I've grown a little bit since I've been in the league. But so I'm at the combine, and we're doing the measurements in front of all the teams, and get up there, and they're patting your hair down, doing the height thing, and I'm like scrunching my neck down like this, trying to be like 6'4" at most.
That's the dumbest. I mean, that you have
but
to do that.
I'm like, everybody's already thinking like, oh, is he too big to play safety? He's gonna play linebacker. I'm like, I'm not a linebacker, so I was like, I can play safety. But how things go with the combine, narratives start getting thrown around, and then you become what the narratives are. And, but honestly, I ended up getting drafted to the perfect place, and they put me in a great position.
Did you feel like there was somebody else that was close? Were you talking to other teams that you thought you might end up with?
So, Philly,
Come on, Howie.
I knew that Philly liked me, and draft night, it's like, so Houston had pick 13, and my agent, I think, was talking to Howie or somebody from Philly. It was like, if you don't trade up, because they had 15 or 16, it's like, if you don't trade up right now, Houston's going to pick him. And so Philly traded up, and I was like, oh, I'm going to Philly. And then they drafted Jordan Davis.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is like, that was like my draft night moment where I'm like, I literally thought I was going to get picked. Like, and then he's like, I don't get a call. I'm like, whatever. And then the next pick, Baltimore pick.
They were ODing on D linemen, man.
Yeah.
They're just picking Georgia Baltimore.
Yeah, no, it's been working out for them.
It has been.
It has been working out.
It has been. What's your favorite coverage to run that's a little bit exotic?
I love a good like third down, fire zone, like freaky look kind of pressure. Like give you something that we showed you in week 5 and then pull it back out week 12 or tweak it a little bit. And I love just seeing like DNs drop to the right spot and then No offense, I know y'all want.
We don't know. We don't know where we're going at the time.
Yeah.
We're like over there in the flat, like generally.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
What happens if the play goes longer?
Yeah. But no, just like when everybody's mugged up, and then post snap, it just looks like something completely different. And then we get off the field. Like we had one against, talking about just turning the Chiefs podcast, but we had one.
You can't get away from this guy.
We had one against the Chiefs last year. I think it was in the second quarter, and then Pat always does this cadence thing. Like it's like whatever. I don't want to give up the sauce, but I want him to keep
spread
doing
the gospel.
But no, so we got him on the cadence. So like the first one, Patrick Queen was showing like he was gonna loop around like to the left side, and ball's on our left hash, their right. And I held the look like pretty good. Like I was at nickel overhang, like I was gonna play like seam flat or something. Yep. So he makes a protection, slides the line protection to the right, and then I time up the second one, and then Pat drops out, Kyle Van Noy drops out. I'm blitzing, and now we got to overload to the right, and then we got off the field, and it was like a great feeling.
Do you love rushing when you get to do it?
Yeah,
because I feel like you could probably rush as well as any second level player because of your gifts.
Yeah. I've actually been working. I don't know if you know who Chuck Smith is.
I know Chuck, yeah.
So me and Chuck get some pass rush stuff.
Because he's down in Atlanta, right?
Well, he was actually with the Ravens.
Oh, really?
Past couple of years.
Because he was based in Georgia.
Yeah, he did private sector. I think he still might do it.
So they brought him up to work with the Ravens.
Yeah, so he's like pretty much pass rush.
So what kind of moves you pick up so far?
Cross chop.
I love it.
I'm trying to get my spin down at some point.
How are you doing the spin right now?
I don't know the full terminology, but I'll like fake.
How do you think I feel talking coverage with you?
Facts.
Go ahead.
Whatever y'all say, the ice pick?
Yeah, you got an ice pick.
Got an ice pick. So I'll like go over with the opposite arm, and then like I'm trying to cross chop.
Yeah.
And then spin back that way.
I don't know if this would ever work for you, but I used to love spinning off a post. So like you come in, you put your hand on their outside pad, so they start to settle into an anchor, and then you whip that ice pick around, which is a nice change up.
I might have come to
and ask Chuck about it. I don't want to step on Chuck's toes. And then if you can get a swipe down, two hand swipe, bro.
I do that a lot to backs. Like I feel like backs and tackles. I'm mostly rushing against backs and tackles.
Right, exactly.
I'm rushing up on the edge. I actually have gotten a good bull because they don't really expect the tackles.
Yeah, you bulled a big guy.
I did bull somebody.
No names?
No names.
You don't want the next time you come in there, he's going to remember this podcast.
Right. But no, I just got him with a bull. And, it's kind of funny. Me and Chuck, it's kind of like a little thing that we have because I'm the only one that he really works with on pass rush. Like I'm a DB. But we'll just get little stuff here and there. I'll try to pull it out during
I'll tell you what, back in the day, 7 years ago, when I was with Philly, Malcolm Jenkins used to come over every day and rush with us.
He's useful.
Yeah.
And like the best advice I got from pass rushing is just like, you got to have a plan.
Yes.
Like, because there's been so many times where I run in there, I'm like, oh, wait, shit. He didn't fall for that. And now I'm on my back. Like,
got to have a counter.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to have a counter. With your rushers, man, I thought Kyle was, and I played with Kyle. I love Kyle. I thought he was such a shot in the arm. It seemed like from the outside in, from like a leadership standpoint, and just like a knowing where you're supposed to be up front, because it feels like in y'all's defense, it's all about being exact. And like when we were in New England, that's a complicated ass defense. Did he give you guys that boost up front that it appeared like he did from the outside? Yeah,
for sure. And we're super talented up front. Like we got super talented young guys like Dafe Owe and
he can go.
Matabike.
Yep.
And KV, he had double-digit sacks this year.
Yeah, he did.
And a bunch of guys contributing in that room. And, KV's there calling the games and stuff like that on third down or whatever we're doing when we give a just rush call.
Yep.
And then, being coordinated in that rush, especially against quarterbacks we're going against, like Josh and Bo Nix, like guys we're trying to keep in the pocket.
Same guy.
If you don't have people in their rush lanes, like it's just gonna be a terrible day. So I think he did a good job kind of orchestrating all that and also, getting sacks too.
Who's next on that defense? We saw some guys step up this year. I thought Washington played really well.
Shout out to Ardarius Washington. He
made some big plays.
Yeah.
That play down at the pylon in Houston.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference between that being 51-2 and it being 27-20.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's the only person on the field who doesn't know how big he is. And he plays like it. Like he plays like he's my size.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Nobody
to see
told him.
Right? Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know he's 5'9" on a good day.
Yeah,
Sorry, AD.
on a good day.
But he throws his body in there, and it's gonna hype everybody else up.
Yeah.
And seeing somebody like that, and he's waited his turn to kind of have his shot, and he took advantage of it. To answer your question though, one guy I think is gonna be really, really good is Nate Wiggins. Corner.
Yeah. He was a stud.
And he's one of those corners just like if he could line up every single play and play man, he would do it. Like just coach, leave me alone. I just want to lock this dude up. Yeah. And it is awesome to see that competitor and a young dude like that, and I think he's gonna be really good.
I want to ask you about two guys before we wrap up. Receivers who you play a good bit. Number one, George Pickens, who I feel like can be special. I mean, he shows those flashes. How hard is it to play a guy who really understands late hands?
He probably is the best in football right now at that.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's probably the best fade ball catcher in football. Just based off that, he's 6'4", super athletic, got crazy body control. Like he doesn't move like anybody I've ever seen move on a football field.
I'm with you, bro.
It's weird like how he moves. Like it's kind of hard to tackle him just because he's like his vision and his way he moves. But I was watching Hard Knocks and Mike T said like throwing him a fade is like throwing him a hitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, he's not lying because like it's like he's gonna draw the PI just because his hands are so late. You don't know when to swipe, or you can turn, look from the ball, and he's just gonna dunk on you. Like he catches those fade balls. Like that's a big part of our game plan. Just taking him out the game. Super talented, good dude too.
Yeah. And how about Higgins, man? Because I think if he's in Cincy, or if he goes somewhere else. You know, there's some number twos, so I'm like, could he be Batman at his next stop, or is he going to be He's Batman.
Yeah.
They just have two Batmans.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's what they have right now too.
Yeah. What makes him great? Is it just the size, or just the elite hands, or because for you don't run up on too many people that got the same radius.
Right. Yeah. I'd say a lot of that. I think it helps having Jamar.
Yeah.
Because like we gotta take care of him.
Yep.
At the same time, and they both complement each other really well, and you got Joe throwing the ball at the same time, but with T, he can line up inside, outside, he can run any route. Yeah. He's gonna run over the middle, get hit. He doesn't care. Great hands. I think he's kind of underrated in his just like how smart he is in terms of like running routes and his awareness of where he is on the field.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of underrated as a receiver, just knowing where you're at, like knowing where your quarterback wants you to be when the play's over. I think that's why you see a lot of times in the red zone and Jamar's good at it too, like when they're doing the scramble drill, like they're always catching touchdowns.
In the corner of the end zone.
It's crazy, like and like on third and however long, they're usually going to T.
Right.
T can go get you whatever route you want to, and you're going to focus on Jamar too. So I hope he's not in Cincy.
You can say that out loud.
Yeah, I hope he's not in Cincy, but I'm sure they're gonna try to get him back. But he's another good player.
Well, I know you don't maybe enjoy playing them as much as I enjoy watching those games, but they are fun.
Yeah, it's always fun playing.
Yeah. All right, last one. You're here Super Bowl week, man. I think you guys get there. I think you get there soon, and I think you get one. And I'm wondering what kind of visions in your head you got when it comes to like imagining that day. Because I just remember for 10 years of my career wondering what it's going to be like. Do you have thoughts of like what it would be like?
Honestly, I think that's kind of – I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. Like, Super Bowl is like the one thing that I haven't really done like in terms of football-wise. I mean, I haven't won a national championship in college, but like I was All-American high school, All-American college, like been All-Pro in the NFL, and like that's all good and well. Like, tell my grandkids that. But like winning a Super Bowl is like you've literally reached the pinnacle of what you've been doing since you were 5 years old. Like, you can check that box. Obviously, more work to do after, but like Super Bowl champion, nobody can ever take that away from you. So when that day comes, I don't know. I'm not a crier. I didn't even get close to crying at the draft.
You're gonna cry,
but I don't know. I might.
You're gonna cry.
I might cry. And if I cry, then everybody else is gonna start crying. It's gonna be a ugly Super Bowl
I
celebration.
couldn't stop.
Really?
I just started. I couldn't stop. Dude.
Yeah.
My kid was on the field. He's picking up confetti.
That's that's like, probably crazy feeling.
And it's the little things like that. You get to scoop up some confetti. I got it in my office. You know, the parade, man.
You're like a little kid again.
Oh, you know, it's the one moment where you're just like the king. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's the king. Everybody on those floats we had 1 million people. I'd never seen 1 million people in my life in one place. There was 1 million fucking people in downtown Philly. I'm looking at them all. I hope you get that, man.
I hope so too. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Baltimore might burn down, But
Yeah.
Baltimore might burn down. But it'll be a fun parade though.
Yeah, well, I wish you the best, man.
I
It's fun
appreciate
to
it.
watch you play.
Thank you.
When I watch you, I say, what must it be like to be able to get anywhere on the field very fast and take like 3 steps? So just
I appreciate
know it's fun to watch, man.
Thank you.
What is up? It's the Butter King, Dairy Expert. This episode of the Greenlight Podcast is brought to you by Daya Pizza, featuring dairy-free cheese, now made with Daya Oat Cream Blend. Let's talk about FOMO. Fear of missing dairy. It's real. We've all had it. The Butter King has certainly had it. I know when you hear about dairy-free cheese, you get a little skeptical, especially if you're a cheese and butter lover like me. But Daya's set out to create the ooeyest, gooeyest, dairy-free cheese pizza there is with absolutely no trade-offs. Daya pizzas are dairy-free and still deliver the rich, savory taste and total satisfaction that everyone craves and demands when looking for a frozen pizza to take home. Daya pizzas hit all the marks. Thin, crispy crust, flavorful toppings, including meatless options that taste meaty, and cheese that's rich, stretchy, and melts just like dairy, all thanks to their innovative Daya Oat Cream Blend. Daya has cured my FOMO, and now you don't have to fully commit to a dairy-free lifestyle to enjoy it. Thank God. So next time I'm in the great state of Wisconsin, home to a lot of great dairy products, I might actually trick everyone and have some dairy-free cheese pizza. Make your next pizza night FOMO free with Daya. To learn more about Daya, please visit www.dayafoods.com. Check them out on Instagram and TikTok, or visit any major retailer across the U.S., including Whole Foods, Kroger, and Walmart. Coming soon to select Publix and Sprouts.